The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. In The Portrait of the Lady, Khushwant Singh has given an account of his grandmother. He draws a lifelike portrait. She was very old. Her face was wrinkled, her hair was white. It was hard to believe that once she had been young and pretty. His grandfather's picture hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban. His clothes were loose. He looked at least 100 years old. It was hard to believe that he had once a wife and children. Khushwant Singh's grandmother was a short lady. She was fat and slightly bent. She couldn't walk straight. She hobbled about the house. She had to keep one hand on her waist. It was to balance her stoop, and the other she held a rosary. She was always telling beads. Her lips constantly moved in prayer. She put on white clothes, her silver locks scattered over her pale face. She looked like a snowy mountains in winter. She was a picture of peace, contentment, and serenity. She was very old. Perhaps she could not have looked older. She looked the same for last 20 years. Khushwant Singh and his grandmother were good friends. His parents went to city. They left him with her in village. She took good care of him. She used to wake him up in the morning. She got him ready for the school. She said her morning prayer in sing-song manner. She hoped that he would learn it by heart. He liked her voice but never bothered to learn it. She would fetch a wooden slate. She had already washed it and plastered it with yellow chalk. She would take an earthen ink pot and a reed pen. She would tie them together in a bundle and hand it to him. She would give him a stale, thick chapati with little butter and sugar spread on it. It was his breakfast. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village talks. His grandmother always went to school with him. The school was attached to the temple. The priest taught the children the alphabet and the morning prayer. The children sat in 2 rows in the veranda. They would sing alphabet and prayer in chorus. The grandmother sat inside the temple. She would read holy books. Then they would walk back home together. The village dog would gather at temple door. They threw chapati to them. The dogs would growl and fight with each other. The narrator's parent sent for him in city. It was a turning point in their friendship. They shared the same room, but grandmother no longer went to school with him. The narrator used to go to an English school with a motor bus. There were no dogs in the street, so grandmother took to feeding the sparrows. Years rolled by, they saw less of each other. Sometimes she would ask him what teacher had taught him. She did not believe in the things they taught in English school. She was unhappy. She did not like English or science. She felt sad that there was no teaching about God and scriptures at school. The narrator one day told her that they were being given music lesson. She was disturbed. She thought music quite indecent. For her it was good only for the prostitute and beggars. It was not meant for gentle folk. The narrator went to university. He was given a room of own. The common link of friendship was broken. The grandmother accepted her loneliness quietly. She was always busy with her spinning wheel and reciting prayer. She rarely talked to anyone. In the afternoon, she relaxed for a while. Then she would feed sparrow. She sat in the veranda. She broke bread into little bits and then she would throw them to sparrows. Hundreds of sparrows came there. They created hell of noise. Some came and sat on her legs. Other would sit on her shoulder. Some would sit even on her head. She smiled but never frightened them away. Feeding the sparrow was the happiest half an hour of the day for her. The narrator decided to go abroad for higher study. He was to remain there for 5 years. The grandmother was very old. She could die any moment. The narrator was worried, but grandmother was not upset. She showed no emotion. She came to the railway station to see him off. Her lips moved in prayer. Her mind was lost in prayer. Her fingers were busy telling the beads on her rosary. She kissed him forehead silently. The narrator thought that it was the last physical contact between them. The narrator returned home after 5 years. The grandmother met him at the station. She did not look a day older. She did not speak anything. She held him in her arm. She went reciting her prayers. In the afternoon, she fed sparrows as usual. In the evening, a change came over her. She didn't pray. She collected the women of the neighborhood. She got an old drum. She continued thumping the old dilapidated drum for several hours. She started singing. She sang the song of homecoming of warriors. They had to persuade her to stop. She might overstrain herself. It was the first time she had forgotten to pray. The next morning she fell ill. She has mild fear. And in that fear, she told that her end was near. She realized that she had forgotten to pray. She did not want to talk. It would be waste of time. She ignored their request. She lay peacefully in bed. She was praying and telling beads. Then her lips stopped moving. Rosary fell down from her lifeless fingers. The face looked pale but peaceful. She was dead. She was laid on the ground. She was covered with a red shawl. Arrangements for her funerals were being made. It was evening. The sun was setting. They brought a wooden stretcher. They stopped halfway in the courtyard. Thousands of sparrows sat near her dead body. They did not cheer up. Even they felt sorry for the birds. Everyone there felt sorry. The narrator's mother brought some bread. She broke into little crumbs. She threw those crumbs to the sparrow. The birds took no notice of him. Then they carried her dead body outside. The sparrow flew away quietly. The crumbs of bread still remained lying there in the courtyard. Eventually, the sparrows had come to mourn the death of the grandmother.